a reporter, like how to report in a simplified manner. Okay. So here, the simplicity of English language, how accurately we use words, the principles of good writings, comes from these things. Okay, we don't have to, you don't have to use bombastic or fancy language here, because simplicity of expression put depth, out of thought. And then all writing is about communication here. So if we don't communicate, what's the point? So communication, comes from what we call as simplicity. So we have to be a pleasant personality first, friendly personality, and then wherever you go, you should be, welcome. As a person, we should not be, discriminated here, and then we should not be, prejudiced. We should be a non-discriminative person, and then you have to, speak as much truth as possible, being a reporter. And then you have to be tolerant, and then don't assume superior position. Okay, be open to ideas. So people are different, right? So you have to suppress. Sometimes people will be harsh towards you, so you have to sometimes suppress your ego, and you should be a very good listener first. Okay. And there is a book called there is a novel called Free Man by Aman Sethi. So if you have time, you can go through this book as well, uh, available online. So okay, what he does is, in this novel, he was reporting from central India for the Hindu. So he discusses how do we do. There are people, lot of people there with, multiple sources and lot of information. So how do we deal with such kind of people? So we have to be honest. We have to speak truth. We have to act independently. Okay, always follow basic norms of behavior. And then you don't use your power, okay, or cloud money. Use your own talent and creativity here, and do not use unethical strategies to gather information. Okay. So, and then as a reporter, you have to always return when you're busy. If you're getting calls, you have to always return calls if you're unable to pick up the calls, and always call back. Okay. There should be minimum respect and general courtesy. Okay. Be obsessed with accuracy, because you have to double check facts. You have to be accurate and provide all sides of issue, and don't use, people to get something that you want. You have to using people as a means to end is very bad here. So you have to be very ethical here. And then using people is very bad. As I said, it's ethical, unethical, and influence peddling is also bad. You don't have to, use your power here. And then be courageous. You have to deal with, strangers, and they can be dangerous people as well. So you have to face them. Okay. You have to you have to be brave enough to accept criticism and your mistakes also. So ability to write, even if it is going to hurt somebody, is very important. You have to be fair in. Okay. So there are ways of conveying information. Write it and let the people, uh, so, you have to be courageous to say don't know. And if you don't know something, and if you are like unable to answer something, you have to be bold enough and have the courage to say I don't know, instead of, setting a wrong example, or you have to set aside your own self interest here. Okay. So understood for what it requires to be a good reporter. Then when it comes to anchor, the qualities of an anchor. See, when we look at an anchor, we feel that we can do it, right? But it's not so. It's not so easy, because best anchors are live. Okay, reporters, have the chance to P2C. Okay, they can give their bites, and then they have the chance for editing. But many times anchors are spontaneous, and they respond in a quick way. It requires a certain kind of mindset, look, voice, and delivery. The best poses, all of these things are very important for an anchor. And best of anchors, they possess these skills without script. That means they have the ability to go live without script, spontaneously. So it is extremely important for anchors, especially in live programs. And then normal talent is, required to look on screen and say. You have to be very confident here. Then mental ability, critical thinking, and continuous training is also important to be a good anchor. And then a good anchor should respond simultaneously. Okay, mental ability and quickly they should able to grasp and quickly move from like, because you have, as an anchor, there is a time limit set. You have to moderate the speakers, right? How much time is allotted for each speaker, you have to moderate, and then you have to act accordingly. And then they should possess, and a good anchor should possess three C's that involves command, comfort, and clarity. Okay, first of all, you should have command over the subject, command over the language, and then they should be comfortable, okay, in front of the camera while going live. And then clarity, okay, whatever an anchor wants to convey, it should be in a very clear manner. Clarity should be maintained. So we should have, commanding personality and be comfortable and convey the feeling of, confidence, and convey your thoughts with clarity here. And there are some skills, there are skills, these are skills without script. Okay, they have to have good knowledge, and then ability to understand, and then knowledge of, there is a, if, for example, if there is a big news coming in, if there is any breaking news any part of the world, have a clear idea about the geography, and constantly updating of knowledge is important for you as an anchor. Okay, you have to be prepared to break the news anytime. So and there are excellent research wings in newsrooms as well, because it's very important for, people to have an idea of what the audience feels, or feel of the audience. So for example, before we go and make a public appearances, have an understanding and commitments using it, the opinion polls, all those things are very important to know whether, you know they are going, the newsroom or the anchor, the reporters are able to do their job efficiently or not. So ability to, process news information should be there. And then you have a large amount of inputs coming in on it, on a story, right? There are so many reporters working on the same story. So how do we look at it and like sort out and prioritize? How do we present it? So based on the importance, you have to prioritize the news. And anchors also deal with spontaneous interviews. Okay, you have to have knowledge to ask follow-up questions as well. So have an ethical compass, have basic principles of ethics. Okay, and then unconfirmed information should be avoided. So have, you should have the basic decency to verify, and then let the people know if it's unconfirmed, then mention it, keep the audience informed. Okay, you have to keep the audience updated. Okay, then you can use graphic videos and words, uh, that endanger and risk others. You have to avoid all these things, like we have some deafening graphics, for example, of a plane crash. So all those things should be avoided, and ethical values should have to be maintained, follow ethical landmines here. And then we have to protect the interest of the people involved. Okay, don't expose them to danger. You don't have any right to expose your sources to any kind of danger. Okay, so one has to be sensitive about the acts and prohibitions of the land from where you are reporting or anchoring, and words and visuals that cause more pains or insults. For example, the words such as riots, rapes. Anybody who, who wants to be an anchor has to be excellent in grammar and syntax. That means the structure of the sentence, and then language pattern. Okay, interviewing art should be there. Okay, so we have to have some idea of audiences. Okay, requirement of having information as we are a bridge between the audiences. So if you have a disconnect with the audience and context, then it's irrelevant. So have 5 W's and 1 H. Anchors must have this understanding and what is the concrete core for information. So ability to extract information is important here. Ask short questions and careful listening, and if possible, ask a follow-up question. So anchors should be able to multitask, and then constantly there are information coming in. So we should monitor it and listen to what other reporters are saying. Okay, that means you have to manage the information and keep monitoring the incoming videos as well. interrupt or introduce breaking news in the bulletins in between. If there is a really important news coming in, you need to break it. And many of the anchors are paid maximum. Okay, these days they are paid maximum more than a reporter. So, but it should not get into the head of the anchor, as appreciate the entire team which is behind, and you should not become arrogant here. And then our existence and performance, it depends on several other factors, right? It's a teamwork. So since we are always operating live, audio link of reporter is not working, then spontaneously some things happen. So these are not considered error but a part of the game. But the challenge is how the anchor handles it. Okay, you need to manage all these things, technical glitches, errors. So ability to swiftly and smoothly move and transit, okay, quickly adapt to the new problem with solution. And uh, you know live television, sometimes there are a lot of glitches, so have acute sense of timing here. And the anchor is supposed to cover up a minute or 2 minute extending 2 minute gap between before extending a question for longer conclusions. So this is known as a cover lap. So this 2 minute time is for giving conclusion or extending a follow-up question. So when you are running out of time, they'll ask us to speed up. So ability to adjust oneself to the timings is important. You should know how to wrap up, without deviating from the main part of the story. You have to wrap up in a given time. For example, a half an hour bulletin has 2 breaks, right? So there is a negotiation of time here. Then only we should go for commercial breaks. So anchor has to manage these things, sense of how to refresh or recap a story, and how long we have to speak to fill up a minute. In television news bulletins, they get repetitions from anchors. So it's easily understood for the anchor, television anchor, to where it's important to translate, and from where they can end the bulletin. So anchoring is also about authority and credibility here. So one has to cultivate these things to reach a position of you know anchor's attentiveness. So it's always a result of extraordinary amount of hard work here, and mental abilities, intellectual ability backed by an enormous knowledge and background knowledge. So have detailed information about something, like what you're going to speak, and then any debate we would be in a position to ask right question, right? So it's the job of the anchor to carry on the debate. So read up and be fully prepared. So we need ability to contextualize or interpret. Okay. Any doubts here?
Ma'am, why the TV media and newspaper reporters have a different figures and information about a particular incident?
Sorry, I'm unable to hear you. Can you be little loud, or can you post your question here?
Why the TV media reporters and
Um,
news reporters have different figures and information about a particular incident?
yeah.
When we see through the video on TV media, they used to say a different figure. If some disaster happens, they say every 200 to 300 people have got injured. But on the very next day, when we see in a newspaper, they used to give a proper information or a proper figure that only 150 got injured and few got dead, like that. So
Yeah,
different
yeah,
reports
that's
and
what.
a different.
Uh-huh. See, that's what I told you. There is a lot of stuff coming in, right? If you are doing a live reporting or an anchor, so there is a lot of stuff coming in from the spot, right? As I told you, some are confirmed and some are unconfirmed. Some are official sources and some are unconfirmed. So whatever news or like feed they get from these sources, they on the verge of gaining more TRP. They want to be in competition, they want to be ahead of their other competitors. So whatever information they keep getting on the live reporting, they display it. Newspaper, whether in case of newspapers, they have 1 day time period, right? It will be published. They have the deadline for suppose 3 a.m. midnight is the deadline for them to publish their story. So they have ample of time to cross check and verify their sources, and then connect with people, and then verify the sources. So there's a lot of difference in live reporting and television reporting and newspaper reporting. So that's what the reporters and the anchors has to be very careful for whom you're quoting, if whether the quote is coming from an official source and unofficial source, because there are a lot of people there. There are eyewitnesses. Okay, so eyewitnesses also, some eyewitness may distort the information and reveal, right? So here is the thing. This is the challenge, real challenge for the reporter or for the anchor to organize and take information which is coming from the authentic sources. The television newspaper reporters have ample of time to get their sources cross checked, but in television it's live, right? They have to report it. So sometimes these kind of things happen. You're right.
But several times I saw that the same
Yeah.
news they'll be run after one day also. When we got the information from the newspaper and we went to the TV media, they used to run the same news on the very next day too. So on
Yeah.
that basis, they
Mhm.
don't they have a restrictions on the TV media to give a
See, it's
proper
unethical
information?
on their part, because what they do is they don't rectify their mistake. They just simply rerun. They they forget about the story and they come to the next breaking story. They just forget, and it's a unethical on their part to be. They have to rectify it. And what other news channels? I have personally visited few regional channels here in Hyderabad. What I saw is they don't have the reporters there on the spot. Okay, they have in the newsroom, they have multiple screens and multiple regional channels running on screen. So whatever inputs those people are displaying, these channels, the rival channels, are taking that information because they want to be with the flow, right? They want to be in the competition. So if it's wrong information also, they don't have this general courtesy to verify whether it's like authentic or not. They just simply copy paste the same story, and this is happening with the regional media. Actually, it's their duty to rectify, because again, if there is a update in the story, as I told you, they have to do follow up, right? Constantly follow up with the developments of the story. So they have to follow up and they have to rectify any glitches, any mistakes, any statistics, everything they have to rectify and present it. But they unfortunately, what they do is they just simply rerun the old news, old bulletins. For example, they have this afternoon bulletin, the same bulletin they'll rerun night also, right? Night bulletin. So they don't have this courtesy to rectify their mistakes, which is unethical. That's what a reporter or anchor, the team should take care of all this, little things. Facts should not be distorted here. So, most of the time, these television channels are doing these things.
But nowadays it's got very easy to give up wrong information on live media or video
Now we
media,
have this
and
internet, we have new social media, right?
on social media. On the
Yeah,
social
they're
media, they
going
used to
live.
say, "Arey bhai, sorry, I've given a wrong information," and they are
Yeah,
just
yeah. They apologize.
simply
Hmm.
skipping out.
Newspapers, I must say, newspapers maintain these things. Suppose if they publish something wrong, or wrong designation something, the next day they give an apology in the newspaper that okay, this is was our mistake. But when it comes to news channels, these people are not following any ethical principles. They don't correct themselves, they don't apologize. So these days, social media channels, websites, they are going live, and then instead of people are trusting these sites, these social media sites, more than the news channels, because this reporting is by citizens, right? They are going live directly. If somebody is there on the spot, for example, if there is an earthquake, those who are present there, they are going live and they are showing those videos. I think you have seen many of those videos which were circulated on social media. So people want real time information. So they don't want the distorted numbers or distorted facts. So it's a part of the news channel or anchors, reporters to rectify themselves, and then that's what they first, before confirmation, they should not publish any distorted fact. Whatever information they know, they should publish only those. They should show only those figures or statistics. Thus, only those information should be published or broadcasted. Okay.
For this unethical information, so who is authorized person to take actions?
Yeah, the editor
Comes
in
under.
charge. Yeah, he should be. He should come into picture and he should take the stand. Like whatever wrong information is been said, he should have the courage to come forward and accept their mistakes. And then, but it's not going on. NDTV had also done a few technical glitches earlier. None other than Barkha Dutt was involved. But they don't have the basic courtesy to correct themselves. If you switch off it on a channel and then check, still the same thing is happening, right? Any incident, if you take the recent Turkey earthquake, anything you take, the same thing, all distorted figures and just to gain TRP. Yes. So understood about qualities of an anchor. What should be the responsibilities of an anchor and a reporter?
Thank you.
Any other examples you would like to cite? Let me try to share a PPT. Are you able to see my screen?
No, ma'am.
One second. Now?
No,
No.
no, ma'am.
One second.
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, it is visible.
I don't know why my audio has been disabled when I'm trying to share something here. Let me try again. See, just go through the slides because my audio will be disabled.
Madam, can you share that by WhatsApp, please?
My WhatsApp?
Can you share by WhatsApp or group? That's better.
Sure, I'll share.
Thank you.
Okay. Any doubts here? Any thoughts you want to share about reporters and anchors? Any experiences? Or who is your favorite reporter or anchor on television? I think Ravish Kumar of NDTV. Yes, you can answer. Unmute yourself and
Good afternoon, ma'am.
just. Yeah, good afternoon.
Ma'am, I would like to know what should be the qualities for the anchor who used to do voice over anchoring.
Voice. That's what. See, he should be anchor. Should be multitasking, right? Reporter, not anchor. Anchor voiceover is not needed here. Reporter's voiceover would be needed sometimes because anchor is the one who is going live and he is the one, who is anchoring the entire show, right? So voiceover should be of reporter. So a reporter should be able to multitask. He should be able to report live, and then also he should be able to speak in front of the camera, and then while editing he should be able to give his voiceover, like whatever he wants to add if he missed out on something.
No, ma'am. Sometimes we used to see bulletins, no. So in that voiceover, the ladies will be there backside. So these are also anchors now. So for voiceover, also what the quality should be like for to present the news bulletins or it.
For example, if they suppose they are showing a graphical representation or illustration on the channel, and then they should be, on the screen they'll be showing a graph or an illustration, right? The thing is, the anchor will be live on it. It will not be a voiceover. Okay, they are just explaining those statistics or the graphs figures, but the camera is on, and the screen is on those illustrations. It's not voiceover, it's live. So anchors doesn't go for voiceover. They are always live and they are presenting. Okay. Reporters go for voiceover in the bulletin, in the reportage.
Yeah,
So
nowadays
they
that
should
web
be
media
able to
channels are there.
interpret those graphs, those illustrations. Okay, they should have those kind of skills, interpretation skills. They should have sound knowledge on the subject, on whatever they're speaking, and then they should be able to debate as well. Because you see a lot of anchors debating, right? They have panelists. Not only that, they should be able to control also. Sometimes people speak out of context, they go out of topic, so they should have all these skills. Okay, so anchors, they don't go for voiceover. Basically they are always live, they are just explaining the facts there. Reporters do the live voiceover when, before editing or P2C.
Ma'am, many web media channels are also there now. So in that web media in our Hyderabad only, they are streaming some news. So they like behind the scenery, like behind the videos, that some anchoring will be there, no? So
Yeah.
some female will be selected for the voiceover and all. So in that cases, what should be the skills
Okay, in that case,
required?
see, first you should go through the visuals, whatever footage you have collected from the spot. You should go through the footages. As I told you, like what is there should not be described, but what is not there, that has to be described. So he should be well aware of the event first. The anchor should be well aware of what is the incident going on, and like little bit background knowledge about the incident. That facts, figures, he should be efficient, or he should thoroughly research first, and then you should explain the whatever is there in the footage, that you have to explain. Okay.
Ma'am, for voiceover also, the word matters or the sound quality matters. Like somebody will criticize for the voice, like this voice is not suitable for that particular video. Or sometimes we used to listen this type of things. Okay, some voiceovers are not accurate. That
That's
female
what
voice
he
is
should
not suitable.
the anchors, the voiceovers, it should be confidence, you should have clarity of words, it should be thorough with grammar, punctuation, and of course voice also plays a important role, but before that, correct grammar, punctuation, syntax, language plays a very important role. Clarity and how clearly is able to you know sort the things out, how
Okay.
clearly is able to explain.
If
Ma'am,
based like
about the
based on
languages,
that. Yeah.
Sorry, okay, carry on.
So, ma'am, based on that, also we do now. So most of the things are there कि around that criticism happens कि this voice is not suitable. Beyond that also they will criticize कि the voice should be louder and we should be more in a commanding way. They are asking something like. So my question is, the words should be in a louder way or in an appropriate way. What I am just asking you, this type of voiceover we can give, or sometimes we have to be in a commanding or in a louder way.
No, actually, it should not be loud or commanding. It should be voice should be in a pleasing manner. You are
Yeah.
conversing. It should be in a conversational style, right? As if
Hmm.
the anchor or the voiceover is directly speaking to you, speaking with the
Hmm.
viewers. It should be in a conversational style, not loud, not commanding, but in a very pleasing
Yeah.
manner.
The
They
pleasing
should
way
be
and
able
the
to build
word
a
should be
rapport.
selectively. Hmm. Okay. The
Yeah.
word should be in a selected way that everybody will get that meaning, and
Yes.
the concept of the news is that has to be understood by everybody.
Yes. Yes.
So
Very
this thing
simple and
should.
pleasing manner. Yeah. In any conversational
Okay.
style, not
Okay.
commanding. Yeah, because then nobody will listen, right?
Hmm.
If you're commanding, people will not listen, right? Okay. I think there was a channel, there was a reporter in Aaj Tak or some channel. He used to host one show. I think it was a crime-based show. The anchor was so loud that people, whenever, even if there
Ah.
was an ad, they used to skip the channel, right? So
That will be
that should
become
not be.
so much
Yeah.
irritated voice.
Hmm.
The action of that person and then the louder way, the commanding way he presented in that way, ke we have to skip that
Yeah, I
matter.
know that
So,
situation or the type of story which
हाँ,
he's dealing with the demands, but it
हाँ,
doesn't mean that he should be like so loud and then he should build a
okay.
horrific kind of ambience. So it should be always in a pleasing manner.
Mm. Ma'am, for YouTube running channel also, we used to go for that in our Hyderabad, we are having so many local channels where the
Yeah.
female voices are there, voiceovers. So I used to listen many voiceovers which are very pleasant way, but in the same way they are in a hurry burry way. They'll just keep the content in a broad, not in a broad manner, but in a fast manner so that it has to skip.
That's what. See, I'll tell you, YouTube. Anybody, can open a YouTube channel and then so they are not trained professionals, right? They're not journalists or trained professionals. So sometimes they
Mm,
have. But if you see proper news channel, if you see some good channels, NDTV,
mm,
if you see Al Jazeera, if you watch Al Jazeera, you'll be able
yeah.
to understand like how professional they are and how they do it.
Mm,
So watch some channels, some news bulletins, and see yourself like how these people are dealing, how the anchors are
mm,
dealing with it. Yeah.
mm.
Watch Al Jazeera. You can watch
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube and see.
Most many differences we can find, ma'am, because these YouTubers are something they if they saw they just start streaming and they'll tell the same case. But
Yes.
in another channel that all things are in a structured way, that all has to
Even the
be like
facts are
format.
distorted there. So we are not trained professionals, so we can't,
Hmm.
follow them. But the thing is, I'm talking about mainstream channels, mainstream media channels, so where
Okay, okay.
they are, trained professionals, trained journalists.
Hmm.
So watch those channels, watch some bulletins, okay? Watch some news regarding this earthquake, accident, some event, okay? How the events are surfacing, how they are following up.
Hmm.
As Hamid said, they were distorting the facts, figures. That also you can, see, you yourself can watch a news today, watch a live reporting, breaking news, and then uh, read a newspaper next day. You find the difference.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the service, ma'am.
Welcome. Any other doubts?
No, madam. What about the languages when an anchor doesn't understand when the information comes? Maybe other persons don't know who are listening that you know almost 8 languages: English, Urdu, Hindi, Telugu, Marathi. Dutch, French, Portuguese, etc. So when the languages or information is come, so how they manage to give a live report?
For example, you're talking about different inputs coming in different languages. So how the anchors are able to understand those inputs? You're talking about that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh, okay. See, we have editors there. Okay, before coming directly to the anchors, there is a filter there. There is an editor, right? There is a lot of team involved in those bulletins, live reporting or bulletins. So first news goes to them, and then these people, for example, if the anchor is able to understand the language, okay. Otherwise, it will be displayed in English. It will be subtext, subtitle will be there in the English. It will be displayed in the teleprompter, and the anchor just has to read it. So it's a lot of team effort here. Team is involved in all this dissemination of collection of information and dissemination, because a reporter sends his inputs. There are a lot of reporters, right? So they send their inputs, and the editor receives those footages, and they will figure it out what has to be presented on screen, and it goes to the anchor, because anchor is live, right? Whatever is presented, whatever is given on the teleprompter, they'll just read it out. But they should have some knowledge, some basic knowledge about what exactly is going on, or some little background knowledge also. So forget about the language, everything will be translated and displayed in the teleprompter. We'll try to arrange a visit to a news channel. By the way, we'll see a radio and a radio studio at TV channel, and then you'll be able to understand how the newsroom operates and how an anchor, a reporter, they coordinate with each other. I will try to arrange it. Okay, clear?
Thank you.
Any other doubt? That's what I'm telling you. Just watch a bulletin today, news bulletin, and see yourself how it is, how it exactly works. I'll discuss with Sunil sir, and we'll plan a trip. Okay. The next class we'll be discussing about radio, how to write for radio, and radio formats, programs. Okay, radio programming and formats. So next Sunday we'll be discussing about that, and any notes and information I'll be sharing on WhatsApp. Okay, see you then next week. Any other doubts? Let me know.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, one group is there now, the main group in which the admin is Sunil sir. In that group only, please pass on the notes, ma'am. Because
Okay,
other
sure.
general groups are also maintained, but we most probably we are only maintaining one main group, which is created by the main Bravo.
Okay, there are some large files which cannot be shared on WhatsApp, so it would be better if you all can share your email IDs with me
Okay, ma'am.
later on my WhatsApp.
Mail ID share చేయొచ్చు మీకు ఇప్పుడు
Okay, let me. I'll share my email ID.
ఇప్పుడు షేర్ అన్న అవ్వలేదు
Share my email ID and also my phone number. You can ping me your email IDs.
Okay, ma'am.
ఇప్పుడు నేను మెసేజ్
Because there are some larger files which cannot be shared on WhatsApp.
లేదు ఆమె ఈమెయిల్ పంపిందంట, మీరు చేయండి, దీనికి మీ ఈమెయిల్ సెండ్ చేయండి అంటాను.
ఓకే
This is my number and email.
Ma'am, if it
స్క్రీన్
is
షాట్ అని ఏమైనా
format, we can
తీసుకోండి.
easily share that large files too.
ఫాతిమా _.
Fatima_Rahim19@yahoo.com is my email address and my phone number. WhatsApp.
yahoo.com నెంబర్ రాసుకోండి.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the email address again?
నెంబర్ రాయండి.
FATIMA _RAHEEM19@yahoo.com. I've posted in the chat box as well.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome. Just mention your name and email address on WhatsApp. I'll be sharing. If not now, later. I'll be sharing it later after the classes. Okay.
వాట్సాప్ లో కూడా పంపమంటుంది.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll share some videos as well for you for examples, assignments as well. Okay, see you then next week, next Sunday. Okay.
Ma'am, here in chat box we did not get anything.
Can you repeat the email address once again, ma'am? Is it Fatima
Okay.
underscore Rahim 19?
FATIMA Fatima underscore RAHEEM
ఆ, ఉన్నాయి.
19 @yahoo.com.
చేసారా?
Thank you, ma'am. Got it.
Okay, bye.